up-tempo delivery.
666 in that money, living for the thrill, aiming for the top, gotta make the kill. Street smart, no room for the weak. Cross us once, you'll feel the heat. Taking what we want, we don't ask for permission. Running with the wolves, a dangerous coalition. Living on the edge, no time for hesitation. Heal Shit Podcast, where the bad boys reign, never following the norm, always causing pain. What in this city, ain't nobody in the way, where the kings of the night here to stay. Where the bad boys reign, never following the norm, always causing pain. Running this city, ain't nobody in the way, we're the kings of the night here to stay. Heal Shit Podcast, where the bad boys reign, never following the norm, always causing pain. Running this city, ain't nobody in the way, we're the kings of the night here to stay. We're the kings of the night here to stay. We're the kings of the night here to stay. Bad guys do real shit, no one can stop it. Walking in the shadows, always all the profit. Fast cars, big dreams, living on the edge. Haters talking trash, but we ain't even faced. Just some rebels with the cars, breaking all the rules. Bosses in the game, always playing it cool. Living fast, we ain't slowing down. Always ready to turn heads around. Heal Shit Podcast, where the bad boys reign, never following the norm, always causing pain. But in this city, ain't nobody in the way, we're the kings of the night here to stay. Six in that money, living for the thrill, aiming for the top, gotta make the kill. Street smart, no room for the weak. Cross us once, you'll feel the heat. Taking what we want, we don't ask for permission. Running with the wolves, a dangerous coalition. Living on the edge, no time for hesitation. Heal Shit Podcast, where the bad boys reign, never following the norm, always causing pain. But in this city, ain't nobody in the way, we're the kings of the night here to stay.
Viewer discretion time.
Viewer discretion is advised.
What up, Heel Faction? Welcome back to Heel Shit. Why do we call it that? Because bad guys do heel shit. I'm Dark Cordz. Draven Grimes will be along in just a second. This is HSP, and we're talking about the different styles of wrestling, from Japanese style to lucha libre to strong style to all of it. We're going to be discussing it all, the pros and cons, why people like it, stuff like that. Hope you stay with us. We'll be right back.
Cool. Living fast, we ain't slowing down. Always ready to turn heads around. Heal Shit Podcast, where the bad boys reign, never following the norm, always causing pain.
All right. Well, as we wait for Mr. Grimes to reconnect, he just moved into a new place and his stuff is still iffy. He should be on in just a minute. He just moved into a new house, so congratulations to him, but still working the kinks out of the internet and all that stuff. So, alright, so before we get started, oh, this might be him.
Maybe, possibly.
It
Work
is.
for me.
There you go.
All right, so keep them busy for like 5 seconds. I gotta go get chargers.
All right. So before we get started, like, subscribe, follow on whatever you're watching. And we've got a huge Black Friday deal going on right now in our merch store. Everything on the store is at cost. We weren't charging much profit to begin with. Now every single item on the merch store is at cost. We just want to use it as help getting the word out. So if you like the designs, it'll never be cheaper than it is right now. It is completely at cost, and the sale will end next Monday, December 2nd.
Fire
So
shit.
it's from
Fire
now.
shit.
What?
Buy our shit.
Yep. So starting from today until next Monday, everything on the merch site is at cost. Also, YouTube memberships and supers are open. Other than that,
I'm still here.
how you doing, brother? Other than dealing with the internet,
Chaos? Fucking chaos? It's just fucking chaos.
I see.
Maybe.
That was okay.
I mean, yeah, we keep going. I'm fighting technology. Good enough.
So we're talking about the different styles of pro wrestling. If we have time at the end of the show, we'll go over the results from Full Gear. If not, we'll save that to Thursday. You can find the results anywhere. We'll give our thoughts either later on Tuesday or Thursday. But tonight, we're talking about wrestling styles. Break it down, Professor Grimes.
Well, where do we start with this bullshit, man? I'm trying to remember how this even came up. If I'm being honest with you, I think it was just one of those long ass rides where I was just like, the fuck are we going to talk about next week? And I came up with a couple ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what we pretty much decided to go with. So let's start with this. When you think of styles of professional wrestling, what comes to mind?
I mean, you have, to me, you have, old school, traditional American pro wrestling. You've got, hold on a second, my mom's calling me. Hold on.
Oh, right. Mama Cordz. So let me just piggyback off of what he said real quick. You gonna work for me? You gonna be a good boy for daddy? I'm fighting a charger in case you ladies and gentlemen cannot understand my struggle in life right now. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. We're doing it this way. We're going live. We're doing live. Fuck it. Oh, he's still on the phone. Okay. Make sure he wasn't waiting on me. Oh, good. Oh, good. I hate this motherfucker. I hate his You just ever a piece of technology that you just want to sling out the window, but if you do, you'll miss it forever and ever. That's me right now. I'm trying to fight this fucking. Ladies and gentlemen, you may have to deal with a vertical camera tonight. I apologize. But it's not wanting to fucking cooperate. So we do what we got to do. As he's over there fucking laughing at me, I'm sure. Okay. He must still be on the phone to tell him the phone. Yep, he's still on the phone. So, real quick, ladies and gentlemen, like he said, our Black Friday sale is started tonight. Everything is at cost. You have the opportunity to get the Forbidden Kingdom merchandise, Hill Shit Podcast, the Fuck Logan Paul shirts, and the uncensored and censored for the fucking snuff. Y'all know the fucking rep. This is the best deal of the year. It's at cost. We're not gonna make a dime off this stuff. Go support everybody. Support your boys. Support us. Support your family and friends. And fuck Logan and Paul. So we're just gonna wait for him to come back real quick. Oh. Oh, real quick before we do get started, I did get into the new office. In case y'all can't tell.
All right.
Hey, there you are.
Hey, man.
Hey,
Sorry,
we're going to
folks.
we're going to do with vertical camera me tonight, and it
you
makes
know what?
me look.
We'll do it live.
Who the fuck is?
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
I'll write it and we'll do it live.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
That's right. We'll do it live. Elwood, how you doing, man? Welcome to the chat.
Oh no, no! Fuck! It's too early. It's too early for this.
So what were you saying while I was talking to my dear mother?
I was having a midlife crisis about this phone charger.
Oh.
I was also going over the Black Friday sale once again, just to make sure if you didn't cover everything, that I cover what remained.
All right, we can do that.
All right. So other than that,
what do I think about when I hear wrestling styles? Well,
yes,
it could be anything from old school American style to Japanese strong style to lucha libre to the new American high flying, or depending on how deep ingrained you get to it, you get you compartmentalize that down to WWE style of all of those different styles.
Right.
So those are what I think of when I hear wrestling styles.
Well, I'm kind of in the same boat with you as far as how we think on it. My only thing is, in the world today, in this business, there's so many variations of like a base style that they've kind of taken a life of their own, become their own style. You want a good case in point? Let's look at a hybrid style of strong and lucha libre, which has kind of become like Will Ospreay and Ricochet's kind of forte, so to speak.
Right.
They've taken a variation of a style and it's became a fucking style. So I have a list. It's only about 6 or 7.
Okay.
And what we're gonna do is we're gonna use two styles of wrestling for baseline for us. Just because it's the style of wrestling you grew up watching, and it's the style of wrestling I grew up watching. We're gonna use we'll call it the pro wrestling style for more of a WCW base, and we'll use the sports entertainment style for the WWE style.
Okay.
WWE. So that would be our baseline tonight.
Okay.
So obviously you grew up more of a WCW fan.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up more of a WWE fan.
All right.
Just with them two as our baselines, what are the immediate contradictions to each other as far as those styles, in your opinion?
Well, obviously, the WWE style, the entertainment style, is much more theatric.
Mm-hmm.
They control their chaos a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
They limit it. They limit it in some ways. They limit the moves. They limit a lot of the spots. Hopefully, they're starting to loosen that up. But when you think about traditional like WCW style wrestling, it's more sports based. Most of them are, at the time, most of them were real shooters.
Mm-hmm.
They were legit badass tough guy shooters, and there wasn't as much wasn't as much theatrics. There wasn't as much outside of the ring storytelling. They had those quick backstage promos. They had, tell your story in the ring, and they shoot it like it's a sport. So that's basically the watered down of what I see is the two-ish or the two baselines, and he'll come back eventually. You know what? Screw it. While he's gone, I'm gonna introduce y'all to our newest sponsor, and we're extremely excited about this. There's Draven.
Yeah, I'm here.
Let's throw it to this newest sponsor, and we'll hopefully we'll get all the kinks.
I got the kinks worked out, so we're good after we come back.
All right, here we go. Let me introduce you to our new sponsor, Smackin' Sunflower Seeds. Check this out. They sent us this huge box of samples with all these amazing flavors, from traditional flavors like the OG and ranch to unique flavors like cinnamon churro and my favorite, backyard barbecue.
Absolutely, man. Let's not forget the garlic parmesan, the cracked black pepper, and my personal favorite, the maple brown sugar. It is grade A, phenomenal, my guy.
So me, Draven, and Miner all sat down, went through all these flavors. Of course, we each had our favorite, but one thing we agreed on, this is an amazing brand. If you're a sunflower seed eater, definitely need to check this out. If you're not a sunflower seed eater, you still need to check these out because they got a flavor that you like without question. Miner's favorite was dill pickle. I like the barbecue. Use the link in the description and enjoy. Thank you, Smackin' Sunflower Seed, y'all. Check them boys out. They are a phenomenal product.
That's an understatement, my dude. Legitimately is. I'm not a sunflower seed guy or like a peanut guy or anything like that, but those were fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
All
Agreed.
right, so where were we?
I don't think we even started yet. I was breaking down the baselines of the difference between the two promotions, style, sports versus entertainment.
Yeah. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. New house, new internet, new setup, new all that shit. Working out the bugs. What can you do? So I agree with you on pretty much all of that. To me, WWE is, like I said, more of a sports entertainment where everything is a little more scripted, everything is a little more I don't want to say held hostage as far as the way some people work, but it kind of is. They seem to be taking the reins and loosening those up. Case in point, the Power Driver on Randy last Friday night on SmackDown. Was it last Friday night? Or
no, it was two Fridays.
Week before. Yeah, but anyway.
They are so pointing towards him breaking out that package Power Driver. It's like they're pushing it. They're cooking that shit right now.
What I'm telling, if they pop it out, it's going to be at Saturday Night's Main Event.
Oh yeah, that's where the match is going to be.
Yeah, that's why I said that.
Huge money.
Oh yeah, WWE's fucking doing phenomenal. But going back to the conversation at hand, the sports entertainment thing just feels more choreographed, more so than what WCW would be.
Yeah, the matches are definitely more produced. They changed their terminology from bookers to producers, and that tells you what you need to know.
Yeah. So let's use those as the baseline, and let's kind of like go off kilter a little bit, and let's go to Philadelphia. Let's go to ECW in the style that they partook. And if you don't know what that is, that's more of the hardcore style, anything goes. But they did it in a way where the story made sense in the matches and in the stories that they were trying to tell. It wasn't just going out there and, let me just get this Guitar Hero controller and just whack a motherfucker in the head for fucking giggles and shits, right? No, whenever they did something, it made sense. That ECW was the very definition of controlled chaos, in my opinion. What do
yeah,
you?
absolutely.
Now, not saying it's good for your fucking health.
Nope.
Fuck, it is. But it gave us an alternative. It gave us the original, true alternative to what WCW and WWE was doing at the time. And from there,
To what anything in this country had done before.
yeah, and going back to that, I mean, if you go back to, and it's kind of going to lead into our conversation next week about the tape trading, where in Japan they had the deathmatch style. They were legitimately trying to fuck each other up. Case in point, Terry Funk, Mick Foley.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
God, there's not a single thing they haven't done to each other, bar from stick. Oh, they've probably done that too. Never mind. Let's not go there. Anyway,
They probably, yeah.
So since we're right there, let's go ahead and get that death match out of the way, and I'm gonna give you the floor for a minute because I gotta compose some thoughts for this one.
So, what separates death matches from your traditional hardcore match, which is gnarly enough, is the introduction of glass. Whether it be the fluorescent light bulbs, whether it be sheets of glass panes, that's the step that makes it a death match. And as you can probably tell, that ups the blood factor tremendously. That ups the holy fuck factor tremendously. So, what you got beyond that?
If we're talking Japan in the 80s and 90s with death matches, I would say they used it within reason to infeud, similar to how us going back and talking about Hell in a Cell with our boy a few weeks back on his podcast. They use death matches as a means to an end to finish off a storyline. That way they can do their separate things, unless it was one of those things where it was the guy was known for doing death matches, Terry Funk, Mick Foley, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know how I feel about death matches personally. I've gone through a couple myself. To me, it's not worth it, regardless of the money on the table or the story needs to be told. I always will say there's something different that can be done. But it seems it had a real cult following in the early 2000s after ECW with Combat Zone Wrestling.
Yeah.
And the dumb fucks that did backyarding.
Yeah, the CZW shit was insane.
It's hard to watch. It's still
very hard to watch. Yeah. Dude, I saw, and everybody's probably seen this clip, but dude did a like a one-winged angel off the top of this parking, like this building, a warehouse, onto the fucking asphalt below.
And the only thing that was between them was just a few tables, and that table did not fucking stop their momentum at all. And if I remember correctly, it was Madman Pondo and somebody else. Their name is right there on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of what it is, but I've seen it countless times. You know, I watched some of the backyarding. I watched some of the CZW stuff when it was more in-ring stuff, when you had like AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels and people like that working.
What was that crazy? What was that crazy cage match that Mox did, where like the cage was like slanted from the edge of the ring apron up to like 45 degrees, and it was
I want to. It's an annual death match tournament that they do, and that's like the main event. It was like Game of Death or Cage of Death or something like that.
Sir.
And when you get out, and if you ever get out of the fucking cage, which mind you, the top of is wrapped in barbed wire, there's basically like a trampoline wrapped around this motherfucker. But instead of a nice, bouncy, pillowy fucking landing, no, nay, they have barbed wire fucking wrapped around everything.
Yes, sir.
Now, obviously, in today's age, we have Game Changer Wrestling, GCW, which still does the death matches, but I feel they've as much as it hurts me to say this, and you know me, they kind of made death matches a little more tasteful.
A little bit, because you're not you're inside a controlled environment. You're not jumping off of warehouses onto fucking concrete. It's a little more controlled. You have traditional pro wrestling accoutrement.
That's today's big word, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, the word for the day is accoutrement.
This is where we just like put it right here, right across my titty balls.
Accoutrement.
Yes.
The word for the day. Fucking.
We're getting sidetracked again. So, getting back into the GCW thing, and you're right, it's an accoutrement, so to speak. Because let's be real. 5 years ago, would you have seen fucking Matt Cardona fucking be doing these death matches?
No.
Fuck no. Would you be seeing fucking Bradshaw show up on a GCW pay-per-view?
Oh, hell no.
No.
As against ECW as he was for that shit, no.
Mm-hmm. And now there's rumors of him being a silent partner for the promotion. I mean, yeah. Something has happened.
There's
as
a
far
shift
as the
in the
deathmatch
water.
scene. Yeah, where it, to me, and I'll still never fucking work one, except for the one motherfucker that broke my neck, where I would fucking ever work a death match. I just think they're tasteless, but GCW's kind of made them a little tasteful. You know,
Slightly.
going back and watching Moxley with his reign as GCW champion. Granted, he was going through this with the alcohol problem.
Yeah.
He kind of put GCW on the mark, as well as deathmatch wrestling.
Yep.
You got him, you got Sammy Callahan, like I said, you got that Cardona, Nick fucking Gage. Jesus fuck, we're not even getting into him tonight. So yeah, so let's kind of swerve back to Japan for a little bit, and I want to talk about like a shoot style. You know what I mean? Like early to mid '90s Japanese shoot style wrestling, where it was more of a competitive sport, where they, yes, pro wrestling was sprinkled in here, but for the most part, they beat the fuck out of each other, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Minoru Suzuki. If you ever watched Brock Lesnar over in Japan, he was a real big shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's go into the shoot style, and we'll try to we'll swerve from shoot style, and it basically evolves into strong style. So we'll go from shoot style to strong style.
Okay.
All right, so take it.
You know, a lot of people don't know that the vast majority of traditional baseline pro wrestling comes from combat sport, and we call those people shooters. And there was an entire it was mostly in Japan until it spread. We'll talk about that in a second, but it was Shuto in Japan. That's what we're talking about. It spread to Brazil and it became Vale Tudo, and now we just call it mixed martial arts. But you can look at that and catch as catch can style and see the similarities there. That those were the combat versions of what became pro wrestling.
Right.
Because Shuto's around a hell of a lot longer than pro wrestling was. So you're taking combat wrestling. Catch wrestling is probably my favorite of the submission arts. It's just brutal, and I mean, shooters are nasty. You it's all cute. People, they're like, oh, he's a fake fighter. All right.
Sure. Sure is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So let's kind of move it along. Let's go to its evolved form, so to speak. In the early 2000s, it kind of went. How can I put this? Shoot style was modernized with what I feel is a little bit of the sports entertainment style, and strong style really kind of came out of this, where it was a very snug but very safe way to fucking work.
Mm-hmm.
That to me, strong style is the very definition of controlled chaos.
Right.
You got guys like Shinsuke Nakamura, Antonio Inoki, Eddie Kingston, Balor when he was working, Carl Anderson. If you could take the fucking reins off of him, Gallows is a hell of a fucking worker if he's not fucking limited to fucking 6 moves. To me, this is my favorite style of pro wrestling, where this feels like the last of the old school is like right there meeting the new school, where not a lot of shit gets called. I would say 97% of it's called in ring, and a lot of it's not even really called. It's just whatever they're feeling. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they're going with the feeling of the crowd. They're not going, all right, headlock takeover, scissor out, nip up, headlock takeover. You know, they get a beginning and they get the finish. They need to know how to start it. They need to know who's going over. Other than that, everything is from the feel of the fucking crowd. And if you want a great interpretation of that, which fucking it was Wrestle Kingdom 2016. It was AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. It's the first time they ever fucking touched.
Mm-hmm.
Don't confuse yourself with the WrestleMania match that they had 2 years later.
Okay.
That was dog water compared to this. Go back and find, even if it's just the fucking highlights. They had beginning and they had a finish. Everything else was just feeling
Mm-hmm.
in the ring. And even though the language barrier was there because Shinsuke really wasn't that good with his English at the time, you couldn't tell because they never skipped a fucking step.
Mm-hmm.
That match made me a fan of strong style wrestling. And another one, Tetsuya Naito, when him and fucking Kenny Omega worked that year,
Yeah.
fucking beautiful.
Well, it's also the reason why someone like Minoru Suzuki can do a match that's 95% chops. Like he can feel those crowds just, you know, they're still, it's still growing. It's still growing.
Yeah.
The redder that motherfucker gets, the louder it gets in here. You know, so people say, "Oh, it's boring. It sucks." Blah, blah, blah. People cheer for it.
Listen, if people are saying that the wrestling is boring, they don't understand the culture of Japanese strong style wrestling. Whereas in America, the crowd is cheering and booing the whole fucking time, where the baby face is getting over, the heel's getting over, right? But if you're in fucking Japan, the crowd will sit there and be silent, but only applaud when it is necessary for the match to continue, for it to hit that next gear, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
The crowd in Japan is, think of it like a car. And if you're doing a stick shift, you got first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and reverse, right?
Mm-hmm.
The crowd, once they get to a certain tempo, they become the clutch for you to go to that next gear. Okay. And once you get to right at the finish, that's where that final clutch goes into fifth gear and they go to the finish. The only time they would ever have to fucking reverse that is if the crowd actually starts booing the match, because they don't boo heels or shit like that. They boo it when it is not entertaining.
Mm.
And that's when they hit the clutch and they go back to the previous gear to get them back. That's how Japanese wrestling is supposed to be watched. And the way they've kind of modernized it or Americanized it in recent years, especially since COVID, and they kind of got like more fan interaction, which is okay. for like big events with like Wrestle Kingdom and all the New Japan's like major pay-per-views. But to go to a Japanese independent show, and you can find them on YouTube, it's still the same. It's still that old Japanese wrestling where it almost looks like you're watching golf by the sound of the crowd.
Right.
But listen to the crowd when they do the applause.
They do
Watch them hit
gasp.
that next gear. Yes.
You know, that's what Minoru kind of pays attention to. If they're still gasping when he hits that chop, he's still going. Keep going.
Yep. And he's the master of that, dude. And that's a lost art in pro wrestling these days. The art of listening to the crowd.
Yeah, for sure.
There's been many occasions, even with Andrew. I love him to death. But I know that last match we did, he was so focused on getting to the next spot, he wasn't listening to the crowd, and he didn't have enough time for himself to fucking stop it, where I had to fucking kind of intervene, and it kind of looked fucking raggedy, but it got the crowd back into where it needed to be for us to continue the story of he's the baby face, I'm the heel, he's the David to my Goliath, he's trying to overtake me. And I mean, I don't know. I guess it's just the way I was brought up in the business to listen to the crowd. It's how my trainer, Ghetto Superstar, taught us. Always listen to the crowd. You can talk about spots, but if the crowd isn't feeling it, don't do it. Work within your means. You've heard me say it time and time again at any show I've booked or been a part of. You work within your means. Don't do shit you do not know how to do. If you do not know how to get the crowd to the next part of the fucking story, let the guy that you're working take the lead.
Yeah.
Baby face or heel, don't matter. Okay. I think I've sucked Strong Styles nuts enough tonight.
I think so too. Let's go ahead and go to our next commercial break, and we'll bring it the next time. Havoc Energy Drink is the energy drink for gamers and streamers by gamers and streamers. Not only does it have the B vitamins and caffeine that you're used to in your energy drinks, but it also has a healthy dose of creatine for mental acuity to help you win that next game or focus through that next stream. Go to tryhavocenergy.com and enter the code HSP10 at checkout for 10% off your order. Again, that's tryhavocenergy.com. Enter the code HSP10 at checkout for 10% off your order. Also, if you use the link in the description, you can get your first 3 months of an Amazon Music Unlimited subscription absolutely free. Amazon Music Unlimited gives you unlimited access to over 100 million songs at the click of a button. You can get your first 3 months free. It's only $9.99 after that, and you can cancel at any time. Again, use the link in the description for your first 3 months free on the Heel Shit Podcast. Yeah.
The piggyback off what you just said about Amazon Music, something I just found out recently, and I've started using it, is that with Amazon Music Unlimited, you're actually allowed one free audiobook per month.
Oh.
So if you're one of those guys where music ain't quite cutting it, and you've already done all the backlog of HSP, congratulations, you don't have a fucking life, number one. But number two, get you a nice fucking chapter book. Go back and fucking, I don't know. My favorite series is the Looking Glass Wars. I mean, it's only 4 books long, but it's a dark alternative to the Alice in Wonderland story. It's like a more gory, dark, demented version of it. Really worth the read.
My first audiobook was JR's Under the Black Hat, and he narrated it, and it's fucking amazing.
I'm about to see if that's on.
Yeah.
I assume this was before he had all his health issues.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was incredible hearing all those stories in his voice. It was awesome.
Sweet. So it was like a precursor to his podcast, basically.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah. All right. So I think we're over and done with Japan. So let's fly back over. But we ain't gonna stop in America. Let's go to Mexico. Let's talk some lucha libre.
Yes, indeed. Free fighting.
Go right ahead, my brother, because I know you are a fan of this style.
Well, it's funny. I wasn't even really the only taste of this style that I'd had for decades was, the guys that WCW brought in, Rey Mysterio and all those guys, and then as Ray grew. But my first real deep immersion into Lucha Libre was, funny enough, Lucha Underground.
Really?
Yeah, like I didn't have a deep history in AAA, although I watched some matches, and the good thing about Lucha Libre is you don't have to be a fan of pro wrestling to enjoy it. Okay?
Correct.
You can watch the fucking show. You can just sit back, watch these dudes do amazing shit that human beings shouldn't be able to do, and then walk away from it knowing that nobody got fucked up.
Most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time.
Most of the time.
I really enjoy it because you can have such a diverse people that do it, all the way from the smallest guys all the way up to Black Taurus, this giant 300-pound motherfucker doing all the moves these little guys are doing with a goddamn bullhead on. Like, it's an incredible spectacle.
It is. And like you, my first real taste was WCW with Ray and Juventud and Psychosis and all those guys that came over. But as you know, I was there for the early days of TNA.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of did like an evolved version of it with the X division, right? So that's where I got like a real taste for it, especially the early days when Psychosis.
Yes, but I didn't know that guys like I didn't know that's what it was when we were watching the X division.
Well, I was fortunate enough to be sat down and smartened up at a young age as far as this kind of stuff. So I was very fortunate. But even today with what they do with the X division, it's similar but different than what Lucha Libre is. A lot of people think Lucha Libre is put a mask on, go out and do all kinds of sort of flippy shit, but it's really, really a different style altogether, where even guys that don't do a lot of the flippy shit, if you go and watch some Lucha Libre wrestling, like you said with Black Taurus, he can do the flippy shit, but he doesn't have to. He knows how to get around that stuff and work that style. Pentagon is another great Lucha Libre competitor that can do all the flippy shit, but he doesn't have to, and he knows when to do it, when not to do it.
Agreed.
And let's be real, my first taste of Pentagon was in Lucha Underground, and that's where I became a huge fan of him. And I saw that match where he worked with Chelsea Green, of all fucking people, and they fucking tore the house down for 15 minutes, non-fucking stop.
Mm-hmm.
And this is before I knew the fuck Chelsea Green was. I was like, oh, he's fucking hot.
Mm-hmm.
A couple years later, I was like, oh, you were Pentagon. Fuck you, Matt Cardona.
God damn it.
But yeah, there's such a rich history in Lucha Libre wrestling that I mean,
someone who doesn't do any of the flippy shit, Mil Muertes, he doesn't have to do any of the flippy shit, and he's an amazing luchador.
Dude, he's just an amazing person in general.
Yeah, yes.
Love that guy. Let me see if I can hit back on to one day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, it's more than just flippy shit in a mask. It's heritage. It's tradition. It's history. And like I was just saying, I feel Lucha Libre has more of a rich history than American pro wrestling does, in my opinion.
Sure. Yeah.
I know we can go back and talk about Vern Gagne and Simon Gotch and all of them, but yes, they were characters, but in pro wrestling, in my opinion, and slash shoot style. Very hard hitting, very, very rugged, very it. They feel more WCW style than I would say of a sports entertainment.
What do they call it over
Cordz,
there? Like it's like they're
it's not.
definitely more catch wrestling over there, but they have a name for that style, British something.
Well, it's not British strong style. That's a faction.
Yeah.
Right offhand, I can't think of the name because I went blank. I want to say Kings Road, but that's more of a modern take of sports entertainment.
You know,
Um,
I must be thinking it doesn't matter. I just know that they do. There's a lot of real shooters out of there, like Zach, and hell, even the little tiny dude that's all jacked.
there's a lot of little tiny dudes that's all jacked. Pack for one.
Well,
Pack came from that
yeah.
system.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Will Ospreay came from that system before he really took off with his own unique style.
There just
Walter,
seem to be a lot of what's the other one like Zach? There's a lot of really great technical ground guys that come out of England.
I mean, my favorite one that came out in the last 10 years has been Pete Dunne.
Yep, there's Pete Dunne, and then there was somebody who came and wrestled Brian Danielson.
Zack Sabre Jr.
I know him, but there's another
Mhm.
one, a really
But
sick
if you're
submission
if
guy.
you if you're talking AEW stuff, you know how much I don't watch that.
Yeah, but you know this guy. Like he's
I'm sure I would.
yeah, I don't know, whatever.
Now it's gonna bother me, motherfucker.
I don't know, Fleming maybe, Simon. No,
No, that don't sound right. If we think of it, we'll edit it in right here
yeah.
in this long ass abbreviation. All right, that's enough awkward silence. But you got guys like Tyler Bate, Ilya Dragunov, like I said, Pete Dunne, which is my personal favorite one. Even Marty Scurll came from the UK.
Mm-hmm.
We really need to look into him. I understand his background, and you know he's paid for his toll. He's paid his toll, so to speak.
Mm.
I'd really like to get him on here, just to talk. Really would. We'll look into that later.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest name that's come out of the UK in the last 10 years has got to be Walter. So I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Gunther.
Yes,
there
for
you go.
sure.
And I don't mean that like besides literal, because he's lost so much fucking weight. Holy shit, it's unreal. But he's made such an impact in such a short span of time from coming from NXT UK to NXT to the main roster. He's I'm not gonna put this. I feel he is this generation's version of the Iron Sheik. Where while he's full-time working, there's nothing where they're able going to be able to turn him babyface
Mm-hmm.
with this current gimmick that he works. But I bet you once he's done with his full-time in-ring, he's just going to be one of those guys that you just love to fucking see come back every fucking time, even if it's to fucking throw a chop.
Right.
And let's be real, by the time he retires, he's probably gonna cut his fucking like from the elbow down fucking off and get like a Terminator arm. And yeah, that's gonna suck. That's gonna suck eggs.
Yes, it will.
So let's go over the last one that I wanted to talk about.
Timothy Thatcher.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, he did the Lions Den shit over in NXT for a couple times with Matt Riddle.
Right.
He actually worked with Matt Riddle, but he's also done a lot of shit with Tom Lawler and MLW.
Yeah.
That's a fucking beast, that guy right there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's talk about the last one real quick, and if we got time afterwards, we'll go over a couple little things. The modern American version, which has kind of got, for whatever reason, it's got the name King's Road. This isn't me. This is fucking Dave Meltzer to tell fucking Dave to fuck off.
Fuck
But
off, Dave.
it's got, yeah, but he kind of put guys like Orton, Batista, Cena, that style of working where they don't do a lot. They just do enough to get over.
Right.
But to me, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, that's kind of the style I work. Like a brawling kind of, you do the least amount to get the most over. What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
I mean, I've seen a lot of guys.
Orton and Cena have made an unbelievable career out of it. I mean,
Oh yeah,
Orton's got. I mean, if you really push yourself, he's got 4 moves.
hold on, are we going back like in the last 10 years total of everything he's done?
At a time. No, at a time. So we're talking at one time you've got the RKO, you've got the draping DDT, you've got the power slam as his comeback. He does a superplex every once in a while.
Has he done one since he came back?
I don't know since he's come back. Probably not, actually, now that I think about it.
I mean, at one point in time, he was using the angle slam.
Yeah, I mean, outside of that, what does he do? He punches, he clotheslines, he drops knees, stomps. You know, that
Simple shit.
Simple shit.
I'll tell you one thing I miss him doing. That fucking backbreaker he used to do.
Oh yeah, where he draped him over his back and then fell onto his knees. Yes.
Yeah, that inverted like headlock. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good shit.
I'm about to see if I can do that more of it. I'm gonna see if I can pull that in for a comeback. Because I also like Shelton Benjamin's, where he does like a half-ass cobra clutch and he just like drops him backwards. That was pretty dope too.
Yeah.
We could tell what era I grew up.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir. We can.
But I mean, yeah, you got Orton with that. You got Cena with the 5. Yeah, fuck it. 5 moves of doom because the lightning fist don't fucking count. Batista, what has he got? He got a spear, he got a spine buster, and he got a power bomb.
Yeah.
I mean, at one point in time, he was doing a jackhammer. And I think legitimately that's it. Oh, the running power slam on occasion.
On occasion.
And then you got
that shoulder, the short corner shoulder tackle.
Those are hard to watch.
That was his entire moveset.
Yeah, and if you want to put somebody else right there that you really don't think does it, but really does, it was Shawn.
Very few moves. Very few.
Yeah. Flying forearm, scoop slam, elbow drop, super kick.
Yep. Everything else is right
You may
hands.
get right hands, kicks in the gut, and chain wrestling. That has become a lost art.
Yes.
In this day and age.
Yes, it has.
It is hard to find somebody to chain wrestle with. It really is. That's why I love whenever I go to a new promotion, they give me somebody that's been there for 10, 15 years and they actually can fucking just, dude, you could tell a whole match by chain wrestling. And never once throwing a punch or a kick or a flashy move.
You can't be my size and chain wrestle, though. I'm sorry.
I beg to differ, good sir.
Oh,
my 2 trainers were bigger than you, both tall and wide. And
if I went to a show and Batista was just doing headlock takeovers, I'd have been pissed off. Okay. That's not what we're built for, man. That's not what we're built for. We're built to pick motherfuckers up and slam motherfuckers down. That's what we do.
Yeah, but think about it. Especially in this day and age, you get a guy your size or even bigger, and all he does is chain. Imagine how that would get over with a crowd.
It would not.
Be the oddball.
It would. It would not. Okay. Look.
I bet you it would.
Look.
I fucking bet you it would.
Do you know how hard I had to try to convince people that someone my size should be doing submissions?
This day and age, not too hard.
I mean, I still get a talking to from people who are senior to me. They're like, you can't be doing that. Did you see that Navarro lock, dog? That was badass. You can't do that. Damn.
You tell Marty, never mind. Don't tell her to come suck my nuts. She'd probably try and then try to pay me for it.
No, she'd sue you for some kind of compensation for the work that she put in.
Listen, the last time someone tried to sue me, I told them to email my fucking attorney, and he couldn't even fucking do that. So,
that's true.
I'm just saying.
This email doesn't work. Yeah, it does.
Dude, all you do is click it. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me send a bullshit email. Did you get it? Yeah. Okay. It fucking works. Anyway, go back and listen to We Burn a Promotion to the Ground. That will explain every fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
So let's put a nice little bow on this. Man, we actually got through it pretty well tonight.
Mm-hmm. Once we got all the technology issues straightened out.
The technology issues have not been straightened out. I will be taking a sledgehammer to something in the next 45 minutes.
Okay. Good with that.
It's going to take 30 of those minutes to find the sledgehammer in the garage. That's just looks like a kingdom of boxes. Jesus Christ. So I really, even with deathmatch right there, I don't see any negativity, so to speak, on these styles, especially with the way everything is today. Like I said, with the deathmatch style and how GCW produces it,
mm-hmm.
It's more tasteful than what it was. It means something. I still would never fucking touch it.
I can't stand watching women's death matches. Like, come on, really, ladies? Like,
I don't know, because I've never actually sat down and even attempted to watch one. I can't even tell. Well,
like, you see GCW highlights. There's women's champions there. They do death matches.
Well, that's cool. That's awesome. They have found something that works for them, and they get paid, at least from what I've been told, decent for what they do, and they're making a name for themselves. So I can't be mad. I mean, my guy Effie has been with GCW for a few years now, and he gets paid very well for what he does. And he was like me when he first started.
Does he do the straight death matches?
Oh yeah.
Oof.
Oh yeah. Him and Jeff Jarrett did a death match back in 21.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Cardona did a death match. It was either last year or the year before in 22.
Now, if you go to a GCW card, is it all death matches?
No. It's. Let me pull one up for you. Let me just give some context. That's my work schedule. I need this one. Yes, thank you. GCW card. Okay, this one. There we go. So let's go to Now and Forever, which was the February card that they did. And this is how it went. I'm not going to name off like the participants. I'm just going to name off the style of matches.
Mm.
Fatal 4-way, tag team, singles, 6-man death match, singles, 4-way, no disqualification, hardcore, tag team, no disqualification, GCW Extreme Deathmatch title, single.
Okay.
So it's not like, how CZW was, where every match was no holds barred or anything like that. Of course, they're very giving on the no disqualifications and shit like that.
Yeah.
but they differentiate their no disqualifications and their death matches a lot more than just, not allowed to use this or this. There's certain spots you are not allowed to do. There's certain material that you can't use as far as, spots you'd use in death matches versus spots you'd use in a regular no disqualification match. So again, more tasteful. Still not my bag. I'll stay on the King's Road, so to speak.
Yep.
And yeah, I've actually, I found a couple things here that I didn't know before, as far as like the shoot style that evolved into strong style and how that all came about. So yeah, this was actually pretty educational for me, doing all this research. So yeah,
Very nice. I'm glad you learned something putting this together. Always helps. I always learn something when you put these things together.
yeah.
So,
You learned that I'm about to take a sledgehammer to my router.
yeah, well, let's put it on pay-per-view.
I'm gonna put it on Patreon on the $10 tier.
Oh. Yeah. So, all right. Well, you want to do the pleasantries and let's get out of here?
Oh, sure. Why not? Ladies and gentlemen, do not forget this Thursday night and every Thursday night, it will be Talking Shit with your boy. Hey, buddy, come here. I got a friend. He's a big old puppy.
Look at that.
Yeah. Talking Shit with your boys, Cordz and Draven Grimes, where it's just fucking therapy hour, more or less. You sit there, you listen to our problems, you listen to us bitch, whine, complain, threaten, and so on and so forth.
There's a little bit of world news and current events wrapped in there somewhere too.
On his end, my end, I'm just bitching the whole fucking time. It's my fucking therapy for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget, every Monday night, got your boys, Cordz, Draven. Get that. There we go. Don't eat that. You get your boys, Cordz and Draven Grimes on the original. You like it, you love it. You need more of it. The original Heel Shit podcast, where next week we will be talking tape trading, the history and the importance of it to the business.
That's right. The underground tape trade game.
Yeah, I actually, while moving, I found a couple of my old tapes.
Nice.
Yeah, like old Monday Night Raws and shit that I used to trade with my friends back in grade school, so to speak. So yeah, that's going to be real interesting. If I remember to grab them, I will bring them up and I'll show everybody my little 9 tape collection.
Very nice.
Good shit. I still have No Mercy 2000 on fucking tape. I'm very fucking proud of that. I don't know if it fucking works. I ain't watched it in fucking 20 years. So if anybody wants to send me a VCR or a video player, as Michael Cole likes to say,
A video player.
email us and I will shoot y'all the addy for you to send that to us. That'd be greatly appreciated.
Yeah. Send it to us just on the offhand. This fucking thing works.
Yeah. So let's see. That crush router. Poochie went bye-bye. Oh yeah. The merch.
The merch
is
beautiful.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th time tonight, our Black Friday sale has started today. Everything is at cost. Everything is as cheap as we can possibly get it. The Forbidden Kingdom merchandise, the Heel Shit podcast merch. I went fucking blank.
God damn, son. We got HSP merch. We got the Forbidden Kingdom merch. We got some Draven Grimes merch. We got some Cordz merch. But most importantly, we got that Heel Shit merch.
You forgot about the Fuck Logan Paul merchandise in the uncensored and the censored for the snowflakes. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. I've spent the last 36 hours moving pretty much single-handedly. I'm fucking wiped. I'm exhausted. I'm hurting in places I didn't think I'd hurt. I'm hurting as bad as Meek Mill's fucking anus after fucking Diddy's party. It's fucking bad. So I apologize for the fucking lagging in my brain tonight. So with that and the apologies and this, that, and the other, sign us out of here.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it. Sorry for the tech issues, but what the fuck are you gonna do? For Draven Grimes, I'm Cordz. This has been Heel Shit. Why do we call it that? Because bad guys do heel shit. Peace.
Heel Shit Podcast, where the bad boys reign.